Hi everybody, my name is Bill Harvey with the Auto Sales Academy and welcome to our live session for this week. Pardon me, excuse me. It's going to be a great session. Probably going to run about 25 minutes, 30 minutes tops. So I won't go any longer than that because I know you've got the rest of your day to get on to. So for those of you that have joined, thank you so much. It's great to see some familiar names in the group. Again, these sessions are exclusive for only you, the private members of the Auto Sales Academy. And of course, we are a robust group of like-minded individuals selling automobiles, managers and owners alike, and sharing these tips, suggestions, tactics, and hints in the confine of the confidentiality of the private members group, which is fantastic because we don't necessarily want everybody knowing some of our tricks and our skills that we all can capitalize and use ourselves. What I wanted to share with you today was addressing a number of questions that I'm receiving on coaching calls with clients, both dealers as well as salespeople themselves. And that is, Bill, how do I sell like I was selling during the inventory shortage? We're not supposed to, or we should not be calling it the pandemic, but let's call a spade a spade. That's exactly what was happening. That is what created the supply chain fragmentation and the inventory shortage. But the reality is, consumers are seeing inventory around. Some dealers are more anxious than others, and discounting is taking place again. And there's a fear, and I get it, and I sympathize with you. And quite frankly, I can see us falling back to our old ways, like pre-2019 level of selling. But it doesn't have to be like that. The really fascinating part, the one thing that you should all pick up as a magnificent lesson throughout the inventory shortage and the pandemic and the limited access to us and be able to buy automobiles is that when the product was in short supply, we had no trouble selling at manufacturer suggested retail. In fact, some dealers sold over that. I don't necessarily agree with that, but this isn't the forum for it, and I'm not going to debate it. The reality is, although we don't price the vehicles, yes, consumers come in expecting us to lower them, and maybe a lot of those consumers put off the buying experience. I'm sure you could debate with me forever on that topic as well. But the reality is, we had no trouble, or very little trouble. Some of you had no trouble at all whatsoever selling at manufacturer suggested retail price. So this is the reason why so many clients and customers and coaching clients are calling and saying, Bill, oh my gosh, how do I sell at that level again? How do I preserve gross profit at those levels again? And the reality is, what the pandemic created during the inventory shortage was the perfect alignment. The perfect alignment. You hear me talk about alignment on a regular basis. If you're not aligned with your client, then you're going to be going in different directions. Sometimes it's a paradox. You're both talking about the same thing, but you're going the opposite ways. The perfect alignment was scarcity and urgency. So if you keep those two concepts top of mind, something that I teach on a regular basis, even at the Automotive Business School, you keep this scarcity and urgency concept always alive. How do you make this one unit when maybe you have a lineup now of 40 units? How do you make this one unit that you're helping them fall in love with and helping them buy and take delivery and own? How do you make that the scarcity of one and the urgency that if you don't make the decision, someone else will come in and buy? And here's a quick talk track that you can add to that so that I deliver as much value in these sessions as possible. Just tell the customer, look, if you can't make the decision right now, I completely understand. Some of us need to go home and sleep on it, think about it, talk to our spouse, talk to an advisor, had no intention of buying today. You understand that. And you say to them, look, just don't be angry with me when you come back and it is not available. Because the one thing that I want to protect you from doing is paying more than what you have to right now. And that's typically what happens when people go home and think about it. But that's another dialogue, another topic of conversation during my closing and negotiation sessions. So stay tuned. Make sure that you attend these free live training sessions for those helpful tips and hints and tactics and suggestions. What I wanted to talk to you today was about creating a plan for yourself. I know we all want to make the same kind of money that we made during the inventory shortage. We want to sell at the same level that we enjoyed at the inventory shortage. And the reality is that you can. The reason why most don't is that we don't plan for it. So the simple and fastest way that I'll start with this is the income statement. Let's go over here to the whiteboard. Let me share with you what the whiteboard is all about, because this will just make working through this a whole lot easier. Number one, we want to list all of our assets, just like you would have on a balance sheet of an income statement. If you've never gone through financial training of any kind and you're not familiar with this income and balance sheet thing, that's perfectly fine. All you simply do is list the things that you have that represent a monetary value, and that can even represent something like a whole life insurance that is a policy that would be paid out in the event that you either pass away or you get to the maturity of it and you've invested into this savings program that has grown and grown and grown. It is actually an asset, even though it is intangible. You know, the worst case scenario has to happen in order for you to capitalize on it, or you have to wait to the maturity to be able to withdraw the funds that are in there. These are things like, quite simply, your cash in the bank. This could be your automobile if you own an automobile. This could be your house if you own a house. This could be training if you are buying it on a payment plan. Anything that represents, this could be your phone in your pocket, smartphone. Do you ever do something really silly, like really foolish, and you're super embarrassed for doing so? Happened to me very recently, and I'll show you the results of it very quickly. Very fast side story. How is a phone an asset? Well, I've learned quite quickly that they certainly are, because the price to get another one is really quite expensive. Even if you take it on the payment plan, now that becomes part of your liabilities. But stay with me for a second here. I was at one of our big box retail stores, and walking out with my hands full of everything, I set my smartphone down on top of the truck rail of my pickup truck. And I thought to myself, when I put it there, because it's black and it blends in really easily with the truck rails, don't leave it there. Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be terrible? Drive away, leaving your phone there. Do you know anybody that's ever done that? Wouldn't you call them silly and foolish and careless? And maybe that's an age-related thing. And maybe you've got children that you've experienced that with and you have to go and get them a phone. Well, stay with me for a second. I did exactly what we were making fun of that individual doing. And so I drove away, and I'm driving along thinking I've forgotten something. I've left something behind. Can't figure out. Check my wallet. Yeah, I've got my wallet. I have all the things that I picked up. Nobody was running out of the store saying, "Sir, you forgot this. You forgot this." I might have seen before. And I get all the way home, and I realize, oh, my phone. Oh my gosh, I don't have my phone. And then I realized, it was on the back of the bed rail. And so I went back to find it, and lo and behold, I was good enough to be able to find on the roadway as I watched a tandem axle dump truck drive over it and several vehicles afterwards. I'm like, just please miss it. Anyhow, what you're looking at right here is the magnificent new iPhone 14 with the incredible cameras. And yeah, I upgraded to the Pro Edition because, well, you know, at this point, why not? And that's why I say the phone is an asset to you, because if you're like me and you like to purchase the phone, they are more expensive sometimes than the computer that you're working at on your desktop. These are things that are yours that you can liquidate into cash. And then, of course, you have on the other side of the equation liabilities. And the liabilities are the things that you have payments to. So this could be a mortgage. This could be rent. This could be your phone bill. This is hydro, natural gas. This is obviously utilities. These are the financial commitments that you have, and any other loans, including holiday planning and RRSP commitment. Over on this side, we may have a retirement plan and the cash that goes along with that, and that is sitting in a certain place, and that could be an RRSP or a 401k, whatever works for you. So the reality is we have these assets, the things that are yours that you can liquidate and turn them into cash, and you have these liabilities that we have a commitment to someone else to pay. When you subtract the positives of cash from the negatives, you wind up with a net worth. And so your liabilities should always be less than your assets. If not, then you are really upside down, as so many of us know from trying to get people financed, where they owe more than what their vehicle is worth, and then we have to carry that negative equation over to the new vehicle. This exercise alone, and of course, if you want my worksheet on this, where it's just a fill in the blanks, leave a comment below. Income statement. That's the comment for this worksheet. There's a few worksheets today that you will be able to have access to. This is the first step in having a vision of where you want to go. When you say, I want to sell more, I want to make more. Bill, how do you help me close like I did through the inventory shortage? How do you help me make the same amount of money that we made during the inventory shortage? We need to know where we are in order for us to know where we need to be. So this alone could determine for you how much money that you need to make. And that was maybe $10K per month. That now becomes your break even, your nut to crack, your hump and hurdle to get over. Once you've made $10K for the month, fantastic. The pressure comes off and everything else starts to go into your pocket, because we want to spend less than we earn. A difficult concept for commission salespeople to ever grasp and become fully aware and conscious of. We spend less than we earn and invest the difference. And that passive income can build for ourselves so that this 401k and RRSP plan comes to fruition and retirement becomes a real thing. However, that vision of knowing what 10K is must be broken down by the number of vehicles based on the average commission. Let's go with the worst case scenario. I don't want to paint a rosy, perfectly unrealistic expectation in the world for you. Let's say your worst case commission is a $500 commission. We divide the $500 by the $10,000, and that equals the number of vehicles that you need to sell for the month. This is your vision. Now, all of that is rosy and terrific. And of course, again, if you want the worksheet, how to fill this in, leave a comment below, income statement, in order to be able to accomplish that. I want to show you how and why average ordinary salespeople never ever get to that point of having a decent retirement and a plan for them to follow. And so what does everybody look to do? They want to get into management. They want to go and do something else. They start looking at the classifieds because time is on their hands and there aren't a number of customers coming in. And so the next question that I'm receiving quite frequently with amazing regularity is, Bill, how do I get more people? How do I prospect more? Because I've asked the question, and you've seen me do so in the group, what is most important to you? Either starting in your career or working through your career right now. What are the 4 most important things to you? Is it prospecting? Is it product knowledge? Is it negotiating? Is it closing? And what I'm hearing most frequently is prospecting right at the top of the list. And so where we could show you how to organically capture and bring in more customers, and I'm going to do that today, where I could show you specifically how you can do it on a regular basis, isn't really helpful because you've already got a lot of customers organically flowing into the showroom vis-a-vis walk-in, phone-in, or e-leads. So when we break it down into each one of these categories, number 1, you get customers from walk-in right in the showroom. If you aren't getting your fair share of walk-in leads, then what is happening? Are you in your office working too much on your social media? Are you creating too many email communications and laboriously going through curating the content in order to be able to do so and make it really fantastic? Remember, done is better than perfection. You want to send an email? You want someone to buy your stuff? Just quite simply say it the way you'd like to hear it. If you don't think buy my stuff would make you buy it, then craft it a little bit softer, more gentle, create the value bridge and all the excitement that goes along with it, and you can leverage the features that are on the vehicle to do so. This isn't like life insurance. The automobile talks to you. It's right there in front of you, be it truck, SUV, car, or sport utility, whatever the case is, van, it talks to you. Tell your clients why they should want this vehicle based on the features that it has. The walk-ins are those that you talk to directly, and you need to get your fair share, but sometimes, especially through the calendar year, those walk-ins just aren't flowing in. And that may be the situation going through summer holidays, as many of you may have experienced, or that could be the economy. The economy suggesting, as all the economists did for months earlier, that we would be going into a recession. Maybe it's catching up with us a little bit. So this is just but one opportunity for you to capitalize and get clients from. The second opportunity is phone in. Make sure you are getting your fair share of the phone calls that are coming through. That could be something as simple as buying the receptionist a coffee, saying good morning to the reception desk and the reception staff. If you don't have a reception, then maybe you stand close to the phone, wherever that is in the showroom. If you don't have a phone in the showroom, maybe you suggest to management that we should, especially for whoever is up at that point in time watching the lot, and you could capitalize on a phone call that comes in, because those people are transcending down through the shopping process to get to you. These ones walk in are absolutely the very best. They've gone through the thinking, talking, research phase. They've seen the vehicle in a non-confrontational setting where they can purchase it, where they cannot purchase it, and now they've come in to talk to you. They've worked up the nerve, the gumption, the drive. They can't stand it anymore. They're ready to buy. You need to be ready to deliver on that and take them through the transformation of old vehicle to new vehicle to complete that value bridge in order to close the sale. If you don't complete the value bridge, they'll start thinking this step and the commitment of more payments and more money isn't necessarily worth what their old vehicle is doing for them right now at that payment or no payment at all. So keep that in mind. The phone ends are transitioning down that stage as well. Maybe they're way ahead of it. Maybe they were a walk-in and they're not impressed with how they were looked after. So they're calling around and shopping for a sales consultant. They're not shopping for an automobile. That decision has been made. They know the features and the equipment. The manufacturers building those robust websites of build and price are so fantastic. How can they not be enamored and excited about it? So that's where you are aligned. They want your product. They just don't know about you. The third way is the e-lead. Now this one goes a little bit further away from the buying cycle and being able to close them at that point in time, but any lead is a great lead. Anybody will trade their vehicle for shiny, faster, newer, of the latest and greatest technology with a fully protected payment if they knew how affordable it was, and that may be the point of the e-lead. We see this in the powersport industry quite frequently because people can't just leave their jobs, and most power sport owners are achiever buyers, so they have a leadership position within their organization because power sports, snowmobile, ATV, UTV, motorcycle are expensive recreation toys that we do on the weekend. They are not primary activities for anything, including boats and RVs and trailers. That research has to be done, well, during the business hours of those retailers and when they're open. And for those leadership type people, they're busy doing, well, some of them are busier than an octopus trying on gloves, so they need to rely on the e-lead, sending you a message. Take it serious, respond quickly and instantly, and answer their questions with questions. Start a dialogue going back and forth. These are 3 of the opportunities that you have to sell just as many vehicles and make just as much money as you made during the inventory shortage. 3. The fourth one is repeat sales. Now, for those of you in Canada, if you don't have people on a 6-month plus a day program, then you're being silly. And you know what I'm talking about. Those individuals that purchase a truck, SUV, or car from you 6 months ago plus a day, that makes our manufacturers happy that we can now sell that vehicle to our good friends and partners in the United States who love buying Canadian cars because they're clean and low mileage and a little less expensive to populate their used car inventory. These repeat customers are 6 months plus a day. If you've been in the business for 6 months, you can easily have 3 to 5 people to call per month. I'm not talking about per day or per week. I'm talking per month. I'm giving you the absolute worst case scenario for you to be able to renew them and put them into a newer, shiny, faster, totally protected payment because of the warranty at 6 months plus a day. That's just one category of your repeat and referral. There's another category of your repeats and referral, and those are the ones that are maturing lease or maturing finance, and I call it maturing cash deals. These are the ones with a warranty expiring, right? That's absolutely fantastic. Any reason to help an automobile buyer justify moving to higher, more payments, and longer term, a greater commitment, in other words, is a pain point. Any reason to help them move to is a pain point. And when you focus on that, the totally protected payment of new technology and a warranty, so that you don't have to worry when towing, hauling, driving, or vacationing, or just going to work anymore, isn't that worth the peace of mind? The other repeat is just that it's old. Some people just like to trade their vehicle every 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15 years. Average age of a vehicle, at least in North America, is 16 years of age. So when we think the trade cycle is 4 to 5 years, it's actually quite longer. But it can be shorter. And if we're not keeping in touch with these individuals, and we're not putting these on our hot list on a daily basis to chase them down and renew the purchase that they've already made. And hey, look, make sure you never ever let anybody pay their vehicle out. Once they've paid it out for cash, I know it sounds great. I know it sounds easy because it's all going to be equity and we won't worry about negative equity at all. Now they're used to having no payment, and the payment that you take them to, be it $250 bi-weekly, monthly, is 250 times worse than what they've got right now. And of course, I am giving you the worst case scenario, 250, right? The payment is considerably higher than that. The fifth opportunity we have are referrals. Now, referrals are the easiest thing for you to get and the quickest and fastest way in order for you to get into double digits, like 10 per month, 20 per month, and 30 per month, because referrals become your flywheel. Once you get people talking about you and they're happy with you, they will go out of your way to become an advocate for you and tell others that they should deal with you for two reasons. Misery loves company, and secondly, maybe you've got a referral program that is really dynamite and you can help make, or you can make, their whole monthly payment on the new vehicle they just purchased just by sending you two names, two phone numbers of individuals who really will and are in the market for a new automobile. Don't just tell them to send you two names, right? You really want to make sure that they are two names of individuals that are really in market to replace their automobile. And that could be because they're driving a pile of junk right now, and worse, they're ferrying around children in that pile of junk, and so they really need to get out of it. Or it could just simply be because it's their brother or their dad or their mom. I know in my family, when I purchased a new vehicle, one of the others within 6 months purchased a new one as well. And that is a statistic that we are following at the ASA and the ADA through the Automotive Business School to verify those stats, and that happens on a regular basis. So make sure you're chasing down those referrals and getting family, getting friends, getting co-workers. Those are where your referrals come from. And if you want the worksheet on this, how to fully delineate this so it reminds you over and over again, drop a comment below in the opportunity worksheet. Say that. Type in opportunity worksheet. You want it. I will send it to you. Your sixth opportunity is now the service department leads. If you're not trying to mind the service department and getting friendly with your service advisor and your technicians, you're missing the boat. You're missing a wonderful opportunity on those individuals that could be experiencing a higher than normal maintenance schedule. We're not talking about big changes such as blown engines and transmissions and rear ends and power steering systems failing, or anti-lock brake modules going and driving dynamics failing on them. We're only talking about individuals who are experiencing a lot of maintenance with brake jobs and suspension work, possibly shocks and tires. And at that magic moment of 4 to 5 years, the automobile really starts to add up in the maintenance schedule. And again, you want to catch them before they get to this point of investing all that money in it, because they certainly probably still have payments on it. And now they've got more and they go, I'm just going to keep it for a little while longer. I've invested all this money in it. And you can get 3 or 4 excellent leads per month with a 50% closing ratio per month, just out of this one bucket alone. But that's not it. Hang on. There is more. The seventh is networking. How are you doing bringing your friends and family into the dealership to purchase from you? Hey, look, if there's anything that you can do right now with all your brand new product that you're not necessarily familiar with, be it you're absolutely new and you've just started selling automobiles, or you've been at it for 25 or 30 years selling automobiles. If you've got new product on the ground, stop experimenting with customers that you don't know. Bring your friends and family in and do walk-around presentations and rehearse those walk-around presentations with and demonstration drives and your trial close with family and friends, neighbors, previous coworkers, old colleagues. Bring those people in and tell them, look, I don't expect you to buy anything. And there won't be any kind of a sales pitch. I just need somebody to practice on. And quite frankly, it's an amazing automobile, and I haven't seen you in a long time. So why don't you come in? We have fantastic coffee. Allow me an opportunity to give you a walk around, and we'll take it out on the roadway so it won't be a waste of your time at all. You get a chance to drive it, and then go and tell all your friends. Go and tell everybody at work. Tell your neighbor. And oh my gosh, is that a referral? Now you're starting to feed your machine, and you see how we can capitalize on unsuspecting buyers right here in this category right here of 7 through 8. The last one is my favorite one of the entire bunch. How many of us are doing follow-up and doing it really, really well? I don't know about you, but when I used to make the telephone call, hey, it's Bill, how's the car? I was just thinking about you. And then you get that, oh my gosh, what a pile of crap. The thing is terrible. It's awful. I can't believe your service department. You make 3 of those calls, you never want to do it again. That's just simply Murphy's Law. You will get to the point where somebody tells you, I'm not happy with it at all. And I feel for you. It's terrible when it happens. It is the reality. The more we build, the closer. It's like flying an airplane, I guess. As a pilot says, the more you fly, the closer you get to the crash, I suppose. But with 8, the last bucket, leveraging your follow-up so that you want to do it, not get afraid of those individuals who are not happy with their purchase. This one, you sell accessories. And you make a deal with the parts department, or you make a deal with your business office that you are going to call your clients, especially the clients that purchased during June, July, and August, that had absolutely no intention in the Northern Hemisphere, the Northern 48, and in Canada, of purchasing rust, dust, and rust protection, shine protection, and interior protection, because the weather's so gorgeous outside. Nobody's thinking about the rust and all the salt that will be poured on the roadways and the sand that'll blast the vehicle and just take the finish right off the leading edge of the hood. So this is a super opportunity. Now that they've had a little bit of time to own the vehicle and get used to the payments coming to their bank account, for you to sell them accessories that they may not have considered. Winter tire packages, running boards, 3M protective hood trim across the leading edge of the hood, the list goes on and on. Nitrogen for the tires so that the tire pressure monitor isn't going off in the wintertime on a regular basis because of temperature fluctuations, all of which may not have been considered at the time of purchase because they may have convinced you that they spent all their money, and so therefore they cannot buy these things. It's great for you to suggest it at the time, but quite frankly, you don't want anything to hang up your deal anyhow. You want to get them into the business office, get them financed as fast as you can, deliver that one, and get on to the next individual. I get it. But don't lose out on the opportunity to make a commission selling accessories, making that follow-up call. And for those individuals that are driving a vehicle that is highly desirable on the used car lot, you can do 6 months plus a day. You don't have to just be in Canada and we're selling them into the US. You can be in the United States, as so many of my clients are, that do 6 months plus a day because the used car department is screaming for product. You may even need used car product on the ground because it is so difficult still getting your new car product. So that becomes a repeat sale simply because you called and pitched the accessories. This is how you start your flywheel spinning, which makes it really easy to go from 10 to 20 to 30 to 50 cars per month. And nobody talks about the mechanics, the worksheet on how to do so. I hope you really like that planning. So as we move forward with this session, and I'm running out of time very quickly, I really hope you got the message that your professional development is critical and crucial as well. That as I delineated on Monday about this session coming up here, this live session and this live training on Wednesday, you have to constantly be improving yourself, looking to these opportunities, because advertising has become so difficult and convoluted for all of us. You can advertise on YouTube, you can advertise on Facebook, and you can easily advertise on TikTok, Instagram, in other words, all the social platforms, which is where we get our news. It is very difficult for the dealer, as it would be for you, to decide what is the budget, where is it going, are we having traction? It's terrific. They tell us about impressions and targeting and specifics of how to reach out to our clients, but it's still advertising. Sometimes we don't necessarily know where that's coming from. So manufacturers and dealers have cut back a little bit. But that should not influence your ability to make the kind of sales that you want and make the kind of money that you made during the inventory shortage and live the dream life that you want to have. You do that by mapping out, knowing where you need to be. Completing your income statement is the first place that we start, and then going to these opportunity buckets. Because if I were to coach you, if you were to ask me, say, hey, Bill, I want to do a 15-minute discovery call, or even better, I want to do a 45-minute strategy call. I want to tell you where I am, what my situation is, and take me through it. Where are the opportunities for me in order for me to do 30, 50, 40, 60 vehicles per month? The place I would start is exactly with this, and you'd fill it in for me. I need to see how many walk-ins you're getting, how many phone-ins you're getting, how much repeat referral business that you're working at. Are you networking and leveraging the service department as an opportunity for leads as well? Because if you're not, and you're like every other average ordinary salesperson, you're up here walking, and I know what you're going to say. You're like, Bill, all this sounds like so much work. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Sorry, my allergies are driving me crazy this time of the year. It's hay season out this way. When you leverage all of these opportunities, the math proves that you can do 30, 40, 50, 60 units a month. When you're not doing them, you're only relying on one opportunity, or maybe 2, 3 at the best. These I would almost lump into one category. Sorry, I need to get number 3 in there. I would lump that almost into one category. Those are the dealership leads. Those are the ones that are responding to the manufacturer's advertisements. Those are the ones that are responding to the brand advertising. Those are the ones that just know where you are. You really have no control over that. And that's why income is predictable, unpredictable, and inconsistent. If you want predictable, consistent income, 5 figures every single month, predictable, consistent sales rate of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 units per month. It is entirely possible. Absolutely, unquestionably, I can show you how that is. But you need to track your numbers. And again, if you want this opportunity list, drop a comment down below. The opportunity bucket. I will send that to you right away, and you just fill in the blanks. It's as simple as that. My name is Bill Harvey. I hope you've thoroughly enjoyed this as we've gone along. I didn't get to touch on the SMART goals. This is all part of your goal setting plan, and SMART is simply an acronym. If you're not familiar with it, your goals must be specific. When you decide, I touched on that briefly at the income statement, how much money you want to make, how many vehicles you have to sell to do that. They must be measurable. This is the measurement tool that we use to verify that you're doing it or not. It's scientific, it's math, the numbers don't lie, they're your numbers. That it is actionable when you see what you can improve on. And when we go to repeats, we need to have a follow-up process of phone, email, walk-in, an email, thank you, a phone call, are you still interested, another email, and I have templates for all of these. I'm happy to share these with you. You can leverage even AI to help you craft these as opposed to sitting and saying, oh my gosh, what do I write? It's so easy to do. You'll eventually get to 30 email sequence, a 30 email sequence, not just a 1 email sequence, because whenever the customer thinks of buying, you have to be top of mind. Then you need to measure those results of the emails that are going out, the phone calls that are going out. How many of those are you bringing back? And how many of those first-time buyers for you, they may not be first-time for themselves, but first-time to you, are you converting into repeats, referrals, and getting into their network? Of which case, then the last one of the SMART acronym is timely. How soon do you want this to happen? You can probably figure this out on your own, but you can make it happen a whole lot faster by joining me and the manifesto, and start off by booking a 15-minute discovery call with me. We'll see if I do actually have something for you. We'll see if it would be a good fit for each other. Then we'll move to a 45-minute strategy session where I can share with you all of this material in a logical format, and then you get to see what the whole LMS looks like, and then we'll talk about how to make it affordable. Again, my name is Bill Harvey with the Auto Sales Academy. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this training. It will be available. I'll put up a reminder tomorrow. I'll email you a reminder of this session so you can watch the replay if you didn't have an opportunity to watch the whole thing and you were distracted and pulled away by those friendly buyer interruptions, which we must recognize do happen. Have a fantastic day, an amazing week, and terrific weekend. Make August the best month for you ever. Go after those unsuspecting buyers, a repeat referral, networking in the service department to complement all of your efforts on those individuals that walk in the showroom, call you on the phone, or email in for an inquiry. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye for now.